This week, we'll celebrate St. Patrick's Day, my friends. Now, most folks think of St. Patrick's Day and picture green hats, parades, maybe a little Irish music and a plate of corned beef somewhere. But the real story of Patrick, it's actually a whole lot deeper than that. You see, before Patrick was ever a missionary, before he became the patron saint of Ireland, he was a prisoner. When he was a teenager, Irish raiders captured him and carried him off from his home in Britain. For years, he lived in Ireland as a slave, tending sheep out in lonely fields. Cold nights, long days, no family, no way home. And it was there, out in those quiet hills, that Patrick began to pray. He prayed when the wind cut through his coat. He prayed when the nights felt long and empty. And somewhere in that hardship, his faith started to grow. Eventually, Patrick escaped and made it back home. Now, most people, if they'd gone through something like that, would probably say, well, I'm never going back there again. But Patrick did something remarkable. Years later, he returned to Ireland, not with anger, not with revenge. He came back with the gospel. The very place where he had once been a captive became the place where he shared the love of Christ. And you know, that's something worth thinking about today. Because all of us have seasons that feel a little like captivity. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's grief, maybe it's a season of life that just feels heavy. But sometimes the very places where we struggle the most become the places where God does his best work in us. There's a verse I've always liked in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3. It says, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our affliction, so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction." That means the comfort we receive often becomes the comfort we share. Patrick's chains didn't define the rest of his life. In a strange way, they helped shape his calling. And sometimes God does that with us too. So today, while folks are wearing green and celebrating Irish heritage, maybe we can remember the deeper part of the story. A young man once walked Ireland as a slave. Years later, he walked those same hills again, carrying hope. And who knows, maybe the hard roads you've walked will someday become the very roads where you help someone else find their way. Well, that's just a little St. Patrick's Day thought from me. Grace and peace to you today, my friends.